talking in general about how the innovation process for a biomedical product looks like, this is a flowchart that kind of tells you how an innovation life cycle for a biomedical product will look like. With the right hand side, I mean, as you go towards the right, it's actually more costly parts of the innovation process. So the initial steps involve ideation and prototyping of the product. Then it's about bench testing, animal testing, and human testing. And the final stage is about clinical trials and launching the product. And at the clinical trial stage is when you want approvals from, in the US scenario, it's the FDA, and there's European certifications like CE. And given the COVID situation, even ICMR, which is the Indian Council for Medical Research, is also sort of having an approval process, for instance. So this is how a usual product innovation in the biomedical space will look like. But we are definitely not talking about an usual time in the COVID case. We are talking about an emergency situation where we need a lot of these products to come at a really fast pace. And when we're talking about this, we need to talk about 4 characteristics of what is different about this context. First difference is the fact that government becomes a key stakeholder when it comes to doing innovations during emergencies, because it's a public health crisis that we are really dealing about. And what's unique about dealing with the government? It's the fact that biomedical innovators and engineers like you cannot just be working in the silo of a lab of with other biomedical engineers, or at least people who know engineering to some extent. We are going to be needing to talk with government staff, bureaucrats, and people who might not have that much of a technological expertise. So you need to have communication capability to convey your ideas in such a way that a multidisciplinary crowd can get the information that you need. A related point is the fact that you will also need to work with multidisciplinary teams. So it will no longer be a silo of a biomedical group of people. It will have to be working with teams which involves like IT professional, government staff. It might even require people like me, like who are in the economics or management space, to look at the products from a multidisciplinary outlook, because you are not just innovating from a health point, you are also looking at it from a public policy and the health emergency point of view, which requires multidisciplinary teams. The last 2 points are related in the sense that emergencies require innovations to happen at a rapid pace. And because they need to happen at a rapid pace, it also needs that there is a possibility for dynamically ideating and iterating the product. Let me give you an example. A typical biomedical innovation process it kind of usually goes through, like, say, 6-7 months of initial prototyping, then kind of goes through another year or so of testing, and then it goes to a commercial launch and technology commercialization, which might take mass manufacturing in like 2 years or something. But given the COVID case, we cannot afford a 2-year, 3-year lag in the innovation coming into the market. Rather, we want it in like a month or like 6 months or something. So, which means we need to dynamically be able to process in new information, which will come in over the course, and use that to dynamically ideate the products. And also rapidly scale up the product so that we have the product in large scale within, let's say, a 6-month period, for instance. So that is what is unique about innovating during emergencies.